It is 7:30 a.m. California time. Today is Thursday, February 18th, 2021. Today is the 7th of the New Ox year. The recitation of Shangrama Sutra was late because I have to explain the Phowa Technique of the Tantric sect. This morning, before we have breakfast, I like to share my personal experience about Phowa Technique to you and others. Buddhism has many sects, such as Pure Land, Tantra, or Zen meditation. In Zen, there are many different languages, including Original Zen, Chuklam Zen, and other Zen languages from other religions. There are also many types of non-Buddhist methods of Zen. The Tantra sect was taught for Vietnamese people by Tibetan monks only. However, in these Tibetan monks only teach the followers how to convert the consciousness at the end of their lives. In the last second of their life, the practitioner uses all their consciousness, which accumulates karma, good seed, and bad seeds, to make contact with Amitabha Buddha. As a matter of fact, the sutra said the aurora of Amitabha Buddha is always illuminating throughout the universe. Do you think this aurora shines down on our realm? It is always there, but why don't we see it? Let me ask you a question. Is the sun real? Do blind people see the sun? They don't. Are we blind or bright? We are blind. Many people told me the Amitabha Buddha stated that the aurora of Amitabha Buddha is always shining immeasurably. But then why don't we see it? Well, if you see his aurora, you have already obtained Bodhisattva level. From this point, I will slowly explain. I do not receive the teaching of Tantric Dharma. My biological father was Master King Chao. In the old days, when he was a Buddhist monk, he was studying at the National Buddhist Academy of Sir Li Din Thum. Master King Chao was born in 1920. It was the year of the new rooster. If he was still alive today, he would be 101 years old. But my father passed away at the age of 89. My sister is a Buddhist monk. She was named Nhu Tui. She had a high degree in both life and Dharma. She studied at Văn Han University and graduated valedictorian, which was very good. In the old days, she was the first Buddhist nun who was allowed to present on the preaching podium to teach other Buddhist monks at the Dien Chu and Nguyen Chu monasteries. I don't need to say much. As you can see, although we are brothers and sisters, we rarely see each other because cultivating Dharma is also terminating personal love. I have been respected by Buddhist followers, so I am not allowed to cheat. Many people ask me why I don't invite Nun Nyutui to come, and I told them that would be cheating. We really need to prove that cultivating Buddhism is also ending personal love. In this assembly, there are many Buddhist followers who know Buddhism very well. They can speak about Dharma fluently, but they are not qualified to teach Dharma because they only know the Dharma, but they have not practiced the Dharma personally. Yesterday, a female Buddhist follower asked me not to tell anyone that it was her asking me to talk about this following topic. She told me that there was someone in the village who told her that he moved to Amitabha village because his wife told him about the great savings and convenience. Renting an apartment would cost only $1,000 a month, not including electricity, water, and garbage bills. There isn't a large praying hall nor a park for him to walk and exercise. It costs only $100 a month at this village with full facilities. So he saved $800 to $900 every month. In the past, he did not have enough to spend and had to ask his children for more. He moved in here not because he wanted to take refuge with the 3 Dharma jewels, which are Buddha, his Dharma, and his monks. This person said that he understood the Dharma more than me. And because I am anti-communist, so he doesn't need the 3 Dharma jewels. This lady wanted me to say something to him about this. What are the 3 Dharma jewels? They are Buddha, his Dharma, and his monks. In this Amitabha village called 3 Dharma jewels? Yes, it is. Because it did not fall from the sky. It was built from the money of many Buddhist followers. If he said that he did not rely on the 3 Dharma jewels, then he should understand that and leave this village. Any day he was still in this village to use the utilities of this temple and still chant the sutra in the main hall, he is still a beggar. If he thinks that he does not rely on the 3 Dharma jewels because he has enough, that is saving a few $1,000s every month, well, while living outside, he did not have enough to spend. The Buddha said, only those who cultivate will attain enlightenment. It is quite simple. Let me ask you something. The 3 Dharma jewels, when the Buddha was still alive, were Buddha, his Dharma, and Buddha's monk. This temple is called Three Dharma Jewels. In the past, the Buddha had Ki Kwin Vihara and Truklam Vihara. So now we have the Amitabha village. So you can see whether that person understands Buddhist Dharma thoroughly or not. Then another lady said, this man said he doesn't like to recite the earth-stored sutra. He said this sutra says that filial piety has to be punished in hell. He has not destroyed Buddhist Dharma or interrupted Shangha's harmony and caused the Buddha to bleed so he can be self-reliant. In the Earth-Stored Sutra, there is a section saying, besides the 5 unrepenting sins, which are killing the Buddha and holy monk, disrupting the harmony of Shangha, and not filial with the parents. He said that he does not bother anyone. He does not have any filial piety towards his parents. He also does not deframe the 3 Dharma jewels, nor make the Buddha to bleed. Therefore, he doesn't have to recite the Earth-Stored Sutra. This lady wants me to show her how to respond to his opinions. I said it is very simple. She can ask him if he has any ancestors or not. That is his parents or great-parents of the 7th or 9th ancestors. She should also ask him if he believes in Sekmuni Buddha. Surely he must believe that Sekmuni Buddha was never lying because the Buddha's karma was very pure. In the old days, Varnamo Anang said that the sun and moon might fall off. Sumeru mountain could be shaken, but the Buddha's word would never be fake because Buddha's body, speech, and mind were pure. This man stated that he is not filial, but I'm sure he is filial. Why do I say that? According to Buddhist scriptures, we meet here because we were related many times in previous numerous lives. As you remember, Buddha told Varnamo Anang, because we reincarnated many times, we have changed our forms, so we forget each other. In this life, we can be a grandfather, but in the next life, you can be a grandmother. In this life, you're a husband and wife, but in the next life, you can be father or animals to guard properties. Isn't that right, ladies and gentlemen? There was a story in the Buddhist scriptures. A rich man buried his gold before he died, and he reincarnated as a dog to watch his wealth. So you should know that we have been related as parents for many generations. The Buddha said that we reincarnated countless eons since the time of consciousness. That is impossible to calculate the number of years. Having the beginning means that there will be the ending. Many People complained why your parents created you, so you are miserable and now suffering. I tell you this, your parents couldn't create you without your consciousness. I repeat, it is very simple to talk to that man. Let me give you an example. Is Miss Hugh Bao your mother? Yes, but you hate to see her. Again, being unfilial or disrespectful to your parents would make you go to hell. Let's ask the man if he is sinful or not. There are many people asking me if Miss Fu was their parents or not. Yes, she was. Yesterday, Buddhist nun Hong Dong exclaimed that she couldn't sleep every night because Miss Fu cursed at her. I asked her for her Buddhist name. It is Hong Dong. I named her Hong Dong, meaning in motion, not Hong Ang, meaning motionless. Because everyone praises that she is always calm. Whoever says anything non Hong Dong wouldn't mind at all. So how do we know if she's actually calm or not? Thanks to the blessing of the Buddha, Miss Fu cursed her, so Nun Hong Dong can be blessed with merit, right? Nun Hong Dong didn't utilize the essence of the great Lotus Sutra. In your ears, already listen to the great Lotus Sutra. If your ears can hear all around the world, you can hear the voices of youth males and females, rich men, Buddhist monks, and nuns. However, if the ears can only hear Buddha's name and praising word, but refuses to listen to the deframed and cursing, these ears are damaged, not divine ears. Do you understand? We should utilize the cursing to repent our karma. If I ask Master Tuei to curse at Nun Hong Duk, will he dare to do that? Of course not. So this is repenting your bad karma. In the previous life, you cut this animal's throat or dissected other animal's belly. At the end of this life, instead of having surgery here and there or suffering with serious illnesses, you only suffer with mild illnesses. Mrs. Fu cursed at Nun Hong Dong to alter her bad karma. And instead of screaming in agony, Hong Dong will calmly smile and say farewell to me. So what would you like to be? The Buddha said in the Amitabha Sutra that cultivating one day and one night in this world is equal to cultivating 100 years in other realms. Why is that? Because there is so much evil in this world. You can further see clearly there are people here who are not blessed enough to utilize these 5 acres of land like Mrs. Fu. She hasn't attended to chant any sutras ever since she moved here. She always finds newcomers to talk to because everyone here tries to avoid her. Only Master Tubin talks to her, and she admires him. She is lonely here, so Master Tubin slowly convinced her to attend the chanting session. She then questioned him why he tried to make things for her to do. Perhaps he has a predestined relationship with her and will be able to convince her. As I instructed, the villagers have to chant the sutras at least 2 times a day But she still did not do it because she doesn't want to stay here. Her youngest sister is Mrs. Nguyen, and her husband is Nga. She graduated with a bachelor's degree during the Republic of Vietnam administration. When the Northern Communists invaded Long Can in the last days of April 1975, Miss Phu was shocked. The bloody battle made her mind stop functioning normally. All of her family members relocated to the United States. There is only one brother who lives in San Jose. Her relatives couldn't let her live with them because of her personality. Miss Phu always wanted to return to Vietnam. However, she doesn't have any relatives in Vietnam. Think about it. Even before the pandemic, she wouldn't be able to survive in Vietnam by herself. People in Vietnam will take advantage of her by making her family send money to do many things. In the end, because of compassion, I let her stay here. She lives here against her own will. We have to understand that it was her family that left her here. However, it is better for her to live under our support. During this pandemic, if she wanders outside like homeless people, she might have died from the COVID. As I usually tell you that in the Earth Stored Sutra, one of the 7 unforgiving sins is not filial to parents. Not only parents of this life, but also from the past 7 lives. I say this so you do not hate that man because of his egonicity personality. The key of Phowa Technique is compassion. When entering the Buddhist house to preach the Great Lotus Sutra, you must have compassion. The compassion must spread throughout. Someone told me that the praying scrolls don't do anything good. That is a misconception. I will prove it. What is the praying scroll? It is used for writing down your heartfelt thoughts. Let me give you an example. For the sake of argument, Buddhist nun Hồng Duc did something wrong, such as spending all the donation money of the village. That is a big crime, so I will summon her here to strip her of her status. I will have everyone here to submit a non-disclosure ballot to prevent Hồng Duc from hating that person. Buddhist nun Hồng Lien writes her own ballot saying that she thinks Hồng Duc is very good. She leads the chanting and reciting Buddha's name, but because of a mistake, we should forgive her. That is the first praying scroll. Then Buddhist nun Hồng Thuy also submits another ballot saying that even though Hồng Duc is at fault, please forgive her. 60 out of 100 people ask for forgiveness, and the rest ask for justice. Then will I forgive her or not? Because of the compassionate environment from everyone, I can no longer be angry with Buddhist nun Hồng Duc. Don't you agree with me? Let me give you another example. We are listening to the Buddhist Dharma in peace, and someone runs in here to seek for Mr. Thuy Duc. We asked him why, and he answered Mr. Thuy Duc cursed her father. He is now looking for Mr. Thuy Duc to settle the score. Because of his anger, the atmosphere becomes thickened and we no longer feel peaceful. Isn't that right? It is very irritating. But that is just one person. So to perform Phowa for our Dharma friends at the ending period requires compassion. We must have kindness. Like yesterday, when we arrived here, Mrs. Dieu Kieu was already back from hospice by their van. We had to eat and drink quickly because someone informed us that the van had arrived and she was breathing with oxygen tanks. Our mind was not calm at that time because we wanted to chant the sutra. However, chanting sutra for a while and her condition improved. How do we feel at that time? Our mind were fizzled. So I let you go, and then the next morning I recited the sutra again and preached the earth-stored sutra and the great lotus sutra. Mrs. Dieu Kieu passed away. At that time, was the spirit lifted or not? It was up at that time. I saw Master Tuệ chanting with all his might. We cannot measure the atmosphere. For another example, Mr. Thuy Duc was sad because he had to fight with Mrs. Huệ Thuyen about the village, and Nun Hồng Duc came running to inform that he had visitors, which was his daughter and the 2 grandchildren. They both stopped their fight immediately because the love of their grandchildren changed the atmosphere. The couple is very happy. You can see that a small feeling like that can create such an effect. Is Mr. Thuy Duc predestined for rebirth in the Pure Land realm or not? Is he predestined for chanting Buddha's name or not? He is the protector of the Bodhisattvas. Anyone who volunteers in the village are all the protectors of the Bodhisattva. When we recite the scriptures, we always call out for the protectors of the Bodhisattvas, don't we? We also recite Nam Mô Đại Trí Văn Tu Sư Lỗi after we recite Buddha Sakmuni. The word Văn Tu means understanding Dharma, not creating hatred, not enemies. The words are not real. They exist due conditions and created by insanity. Please understand that just a small loving atmosphere like that can help you to recite the seed of rebirth in the Pure Land, the seed of love and compassion in Mr. Thuy Duc's heart. When a person looks for him because he assumes his parents were insulted by Mr. Thuy Duc, and anyone shows him where Mr. Thuy Duc is, a fight will take place for sure. Who provoked the conflict? A person with a mind of anger would make the seed of aversion arise. On the other hand, when Mr. Thuy Duc was fighting with Miss Huệ Thuyen because of the problem of eating and drinking in the village, but because Nun Hồng Duc led 2 of their grandchildren down, the seed of love and compassion for grandchildren were stimulated. Mr. Thuy Duc stopped fighting and welcomed his grandchildren. Why do I talk about this while explaining the Phowa technique? Because Mrs. Dieu Kieu had lots of seed, such as love, compassion, and a seed of thinking about Buddha, of her children who are dead and still alive. She also thinks about her marriage as well. This is the reason when I forbid people who can create disturbance while performing Phowa, because we can incite the seed of love and return to this world. Do you understand? However, if I stop, then their children will get angry. And if the children gets angry, will the mother get angry? It will definitely incite the seed of anger. So the key of Phowa technique is compassion. We must think this person is our relative, such as our mother. I will also be angry if someone stops me from hugging my mother. We must put ourselves in their shoes. We have to think that all sentient beings are our parents. And then the tense atmosphere will be lifted. What is the Phowa's technique? What do I use this word "and" in some cases and "lam" in other cases? The word "and" means to command. Every mantra has the word "and" to command. If we perform Phowa, but our merit is not enough, we must use the mind of compassion. And we have to perform. We have to see the performing hand is the hand of Amitabha's Buddha. Using the hand of Amitabha Buddha to move the heat up, then you will be okay. Using your hand, you will feel like grabbing a live electrical wire. Alternating currents traveling back and forth, while DC current flows in one direction. We need a diode preventing it from going bi-directionally and enter the new practitioner. Otherwise, the consciousness of the dying person will enter you and you will lose control of your body. These words of "ang" and "lam" acts like a lock to prevent the wandering souls and the demons from entering you. You see, people who got possessed because they open for their souls to enter their body. I show you this so the unwanted souls can't enter your body. The word "lam" means cleansing. The aura of this word helps to cleanse the surrounding environment. Mrs. Dieu Kieu's neck was cut open to insert breathing tubes. She had lung disease, so the mucus could not reach her mouth, and it followed the breathing tube. From time to time, we had to use the vacuum machine to remove the mucus. It is an impure location on her body. We have to use hospice vacuum machine and suck it out. If some of us disgust her body, then the devas also saw uncleansing, so they came down to protect the mantra. Therefore, we have to use the word "lam" to purify. We couldn't see the world of the dead, but the devas saw very clearly. The devas are very pure. So you must remember that we have to brush our teeth wash our face in the morning before we chant. The medicine Buddhist scriptures also said to keep the 3 precepts, to keep the purity mind, and not to get angry. How can these words transfer from your hands to the other? It depends on the person who receives the Phowa Technique. As you witness the word disappear from my hands when I perform Phowa, that person would be reborn in the Pure Land with higher level because he immersed into the cleansing mantra. We lean on the power of the mantra to help these people. Then why do we have to change the mantras from time to time? During the 8 hours, the seed of love and hatred are both stimulated. The Earth Stored Sutra said that the consciousness of sick people in the world is unresponsive. Their eyes are blind. Their ears are deaf. We wanted to die but couldn't. But we couldn't live either. Ordinary people doesn't understand. In fact, that person is at the court for judging their sins and merit. In the Earth Stored Sutra said, bright-eyed lady went to hell. How do we go to hell? We can only go to hell because of cultivating power or karma. We all have karma unless we are Bodhisattvas. Lady Bright Eye was able to visit hell because she recited Buddha's name 1 full day with total concentration. During the 8 hours of supporting recitation, both love and hatred seeds of Miss Dieu Kieu were revitalized because of the chanting of Buddha's name. If she specialized in reciting Buddha's name, then the seed of reciting Buddha's name would be revived. Like I had said, when Mr. Chuduk was arguing with his wife, if someone cursed even just one more sentence, he would make the argument even worse, cause his seed of hatred aggregated. However, if his child and grandchildren came to visit, the seed of compassion and love sprouted, and his anger would be vanished. We have to know his karma in order to perform Phowa. I always recited the Shangama mantra Niyam at the beginning. Why is that? The Shangama mantra is the utmost secret mantra. The Buddha told Venerable Anang that the benefit of this mantra couldn't describe in 1 Makupla, which is 1.3 million years. The Buddha of the 10 directions all became Buddha by this mantra. They used this Shangama mantra in the process of teaching and retained the Dharma. This mantra was used flexibly in the ashram to save sentient beings. It was impossible for Venerable Anang to avoid the black magic without the Shangama mantra. This mantra also helped those who have not obtained or already ordained were about to violate the no lust precepts from creating sins. Every day we break the first precept, ladies and gentlemen. As old as we are, we step on the ant or small creatures without even knowing it. The earth-stored sutra said every step would create sin. The Buddha said there are 84,000 lives in one bowl of water. In the kitchen, they kill millions of germs in order to cook for us a pot of vegetarian noodles. Sometimes we catch a cold or an infection and we have to take medicine. Do we kill that germ or not? Yes. So every day we have to recite the Shengrama mantra to help us avoid that karma. That doesn't mean that we can write off our sins. We will be reborn in the Pure Land with our karma. The requirements to be reborn in the Pure Land, in addition to reciting sutras and Buddha's name, is having compassion or the mind of Bodhisattvas. That means after being reborn in the Pure Land, you will cultivate to obtain the enlightenment, and you will return to pay the old debt. The Buddha told Venerable Anang that he accompanied the Buddha for many Mokkhikalpa. He also made offerings to millions of Buddhas. Elder Sarputra obtained the highest Arhat level, but he was recognized by the Buddha. But he still won't become Buddha for another million Mokkhikalpas. That is the reason why many hyena monks decided to remain at the Arhat level to avoid this responsibility. As I teach you a way of going reborn in the Pure Land immediately, but not becoming a Buddha, and having to come back here for millions of lives to repay the old debt, and help all relatives before becoming Buddha, I guarantee the number of people who wanted to be reborn in the Pure Land is many, but the number of people returning here to pay back old debts will be a very few. That was the reason 5,000 hyena monks left, because they were afraid of this long duration. Do you understand?